Eid Mubarak to you and your family, as I just got back from morning prayer with my father, one of two major holidays that I get to celebrate with them. Now, while the festivities continue all around this neighborhood, around the country, and even around the nation of others that celebrate Eid, I am here to continue to work on the challenge I've set for myself to follow Alex Hormozi's advice until I achieve now the $100 milestone, which more than hyper focusing on that number, I'm focusing on the foundations of what builds the kind of person who can make $100, $100,000, $100 million. And I know the money will come as a byproduct of me becoming that person. Alex is the type of person to miss out on Thanksgiving get-togethers, Christmas get-togethers, a lot of other holidays that he and his family celebrate. He continued to work on himself, on his mission. And while I'm trying to find a middle ground between being present in the vicinity with my family and also continuing the showing up and putting in the hours and then figuring out how best to get the most out of those hours, even while I'm in the midst of looking like Saladin of some character in a novel, I do want to continue to work on my character, my work ethic, the catalysts of showing up, and continue to put in the hours that will build into the person that will mirror Alex's work ethic. With that, we begin day 11. Accidentally crossed the 2-hour mark because after 1 hour I was gonna take a nap and my wife was waiting for me to join her, and she already fell asleep and I didn't want to disturb her, and I was already getting into the flow of things, somehow being very lethargic and drowsy. Just forcing myself to start the first hour got the energy and the flow of things. The stagnation started to start moving, and that helped to kind of get into the flow of things. And then I came back, got into some more comfortable clothes, and continued on exploring different opportunities in my inbox. Right now I'm working in the business, more so on the business, managed to take some calls, but more so exploring the kinds of opportunities and projects that I can partner up with, as well as uploading an hour-long interview I did while I was out in Vegas. And so putting out content, these are long form, but I also want to make short form content about many of the behind the scenes. So I need to find a way to get into that as more of a regular habit of creating and posting short form content as I'm working on longer form vlogs and of course the videos for my audience on my channel that are a lot more business inclined. So with that, let's continue until the wifey wakes up. On a holiday, on one of the most festive days in this country, I'm managing to clock in hours because I am not going anywhere. I'm not going outside to explore, to participate, just here isolated in my parents' place. And that is how I got to 3 hours and almost 40 minutes of effort as I continue to clock in here in this sofa area, which is the most of my workspace that I have available to me, managing to produce content, managing to learn more, learned a whole video of Alex's, which I did take notes on. So looking forward to diving deeper into what I've learned from another of Alex's video, which this one was the new way to make content in the age of AI. So he talks about the idea of the incomes and the careers that are at risk in terms of the content creation journey, and those that need a lot more convincing and people want to connect with real people, those are going to be later to go. And so the more proof that we're able to provide about what we do and how we provide those services for our clients, the more irreplaceable we'll become. So that really integrated this idea of providing and integrating a way to present and weave in proof of what we do and build that conviction in our message, not just say, but show, as he said, demonstrate by doing that you're capable of providing the level of value you say you are, and that will be your edge against a kind of AI slop of content or entertainment versus you providing education that converts into dollars. So those are some of the practical principles I've learned and started to figure out how I can do epic shit and document it, as he would say, and to share that publicly by going towards more of showing what I'm doing for a specific person, how I've been able to help that person, what results they achieved. Those stuff I haven't actually leaned on as much, and I think that is a missing part of my own growth. So that was actually very practical on my side, and looking forward to putting that to use as soon as I can find the next marketing piece that I can use as a proof of outcome to share with my audience. As I wrap up today with a little over 4 hours clocked, I am realizing a lot of important elements of what it will take to succeed in not just this challenge, but in life, which is to know what to work on and to work on that quite consciously and in a focused manner, to attack the small tasks that build up to getting that big task done. There is just such an overwhelming amount of random pop-ups in my mind, and when I open up the laptops, that getting deep work done is still proving to be difficult. There is, of course, methods to the madness, which I have to discover through Alex's training and his techniques of going from this sort of distracted version of life, which is what I'm living through right now. And he talks about this in a video where he says his life can be divided into two major categories. One being the distracted version of himself when he had multiple things going and he just was stretching himself thin, to the focused version of himself, which became the multi-centimillionaire. So I'm on a journey like that. I know as I solve these quite openly in front of you, I will also solve many other problems in my workflow, in my life, in my head, that keeps me up, that keeps me thinking about all of these elements of what to do in this field of work, which is a huge part of my life in terms of not just the money it produces, but the meaning that I get from the work and being a provider and being a leader and exercising my creativity and bringing something of value to the marketplace and the world and leaving my little imprint of my life's work on the table at the end of my life, to be able to say that this is what I crafted out of my time that I've been granted in the dash of birth to death. And it's for that reason that I've started this journey, because I didn't want to waste my life and potential. Because we can think of Alex as a great example. He could have been on the path he was on as a, I think, finance banker or something. And he could have just lived a pretty decent life, but the world would have never known of him, and nor would he have discovered that he can fly on his own wings and go through the hardships to become forged out of fire. And I believe that is the journey that we all want. We want the outcome on the other side of who we see someone like that we revere, whether it's Alex or someone else for you. But they all had to go through this journey, this hero's journey. And that is what I believe I'm on myself. And it is coming with its own challenges. And understanding those challenges is an important part of working through them and finding solutions. And I hope that it will be a journey of going through each of those elements to say, okay, why am I so scattered across the tasks of the day? How can I concentrate? What's the objective? What can I actually get? What's the major big tasks that I can break down into small tasks and start chipping away at that and getting it done and crossing that off, and then hyper focusing on the next little tasks and the building up of those tasks to getting this big thing done. There are techniques to all of this, and we will get to those techniques through a lot of lessons that we learned together. So with that, I'm gonna go have dinner with the family downstairs to close out this, what is a holiday festival of celebrating with family. So trying to also juggle that, and also here tomorrow. And the next day I go back to my home office, where from there I look forward to not traveling for a long time and just diving into my craft and becoming someone who takes the time to sharpen the axe that can be the skills that allows us to conquer and find confidence in our own wings. With that, I will catch you guys on the next piece.